Right guys, here we are, finally on CarX Street. It's been a while coming, it's been a long time coming since this was announced. To be fair, I'm liking it, I am liking it, but there's a few things in this game that definitely need addressing, and they need addressing now. So the game, if I was to sum it up in a couple of words, it's very arcadey. It's a little bit like the old Burnout games and the old Need for Speed games, a little bit like Most Wanted. What I mean by this is the crash physics. Every car has NOS. You get R, I think it's R if I go to the map. You can see R and C. So C is sort of like the performance of your car, and R is the rating that you get for the modifications, body kits, that sort of thing. It's nice that they have included the modification side to it. Your car is graded depending on what modifications you have. This also leads to some really funny builds. So if you wanted to get max R points, you can put on some stupid spoilers and stuff, like the old Need for Speed games. So it definitely feels like a Need for Speed sort of game, and the game is primarily street racing. It is not drifting. But you know me, guys, if you subscribe for a while, then you know that I absolutely love drifting. I've had loads of drift cars in real life. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to drifting. I wouldn't say I'm a pro by any means, especially not on the games. I can definitely drift better in real life than I can on some games. So all this information that I'm giving you has been taken from playing on a controller. So if you do play on a sim rig, then please do take this with a pinch of salt and don't start hating me in my comments. But yeah, there's a few things that I dislike about drifting in this game. Like I say, I feel like this is second best. It's not a priority in this game. So it's understandable that they haven't got a few things right. They've also changed some things to make it a little bit better for beginners, which if you're a beginner, then I'm sure you're going to enjoy. However, if you take what you learn on this game and you put it into a different game or into real life, it's not going to be exact. And let me show you exactly what I mean now. So the AI or the computer, it has way too much control over your car. Let me show you exactly what I mean by this. So we're just going to do a burnout here, and I want you to watch my front wheels. Okay, so we're just going into a burnout. You can see my controller in the top right of the screen. I'm holding right, and look where the wheels are. So the AI, the computer, is taking over my input, and it is making me not spin out here. Obviously, if I smash the throttle, then I'm probably going to spin out. But that's only because of the setup in the car. Let me get another car for you quick, and I will show you what this is like on a non-drift car. So if you've got a basic drift car with not too many mods, you haven't upgraded it, then let me show you what this is like. Okay, so this is flat. I should be spinning out here. I should be spinning out. And look at my wheels. Look at the steering wheel. That's not where I'm steering. Like, what is this? If you're a beginner, then I completely understand that this is going to help you out and you might enjoy this, but it's not real. It's not real, guys. It's exactly opposite of, you should be turning, you should be putting those inputs, counter steering, in yourself. You shouldn't be relying on this AI to do it for you. So the way that I've got around this with this car is actually the tune, and this is something that is completely backwards. I'm not sure if I've gone into the right. I have gone into the right menu here. So I'm going to show you on suspension. I'm going to show you here the caster angle. Now this is self-steer. So to get around the AI completely taking over your car and straightening you up mid-drift, you have to make the setup as if you weren't wanting it to self-steer, if that makes sense. So when you let go of the steering wheel in your car, when you're going around a corner, what happens? The front wheels then go straight. If you're midway around a corner and you let go of the steering wheel, it's not going to steer for you. It's going to just go in the straight line. The car's going to go in a straight line. And this is exactly what happens when you're drifting. When you're at a lock, when you're at a full lock and you let go of the steering wheel, you're then relying on your accelerator input to then balance the car for you. Too much acceleration and the car's going to spin out. Too little acceleration and you're going to straight up. That's with no counter steering. So you balance the counter steering as well as the throttle. It's the majority of it is done in the throttle. This game takes away all of that. All drifting in this game is done through the steering, which is backwards. It is completely backwards. Search on YouTube something like clean drift POV. What you'll notice is people let go of the steering wheel and the car steers for them. And what this will do is, if you're transitioning from a left to a right drift, the steering wheel will go full lock by itself. So I hope that sort of makes sense. But to get rid of the AI taking over your car, you have to put less grip on the front. And how do you do this? Well, so first of all is the caster angle. The caster angle, like I say, is the self-steer. You want this as little as possible. So it could go to 6.2 with this setup I have, which to be fair is still a little bit too much. I still do get way too much computer input and way too much counter steering for me. But any less than that, the car will just spin out and I'll have no control over it. So the first thing you need to do is less caster angle for that AI to not take over your car so much. It's basically giving the AI no grip. That is exactly what it's doing. It's giving your front wheel, therefore AI, no grip. So the next thing you're going to want to do is actually the Ackerman angle. Now, if you watch Goosiest, he's a great example of this. He will tell you 0 Ackerman angle is the best. And what this means is when your car turns, when your front wheels turn, they stay parallel. So if you have 0 Ackerman angle, this means that your front wheels are always going to be parallel. If you have a lot of Ackerman angle, this is 55 degrees. So if one of my wheels, if my, say, left wheel turns 90 degrees, my outside wheel, my right wheel, is going to turn only 45 degrees if I'm turning left. And again, what this does is reduces grip. So this is exactly opposite what you need in real life. You need 0 Ackerman angle and you need as much caster as you get. So by tuning your car backwards, you make it better. That doesn't make sense. I know what I'm talking about here. Honestly, Google it. Google good setup for drifting or something like that. Any drifter in real life will tell you a lot of camber, a lot of caster, and no Ackerman is exactly what you need. So that's just a few things that really do bug me about the drifting on this game. The next thing that really does bug me about drifting on this game is the price of it. Is the price. So everything, and I mean everything on these cars are ridiculously expensive. You obviously get in-game credits for completing races and stuff, but it's just phenomenally expensive. Let me just switch cars for you guys here and I'll show you how to set up a drift car sort of from scratch. I'm not gonna, because I don't have the credits. So if I change car, let me go to this random truck. Okay, so we're back in the suspension and everything is just way expensive. This is 8 grand nearly. You want some brakes, that's going to cost you 18 grand. Rear bars, that's going to cost you another 8. Front suspension, you want some decent front suspension and dampers. The front suspension alone costs 20 grand, and that's not even for the ultimate. Same again as the rear, so just on suspension, that's 40 grand. That is the equivalent of 5 races. That's 5 races that is going to cost you to get the best springs and dampers. And this is before any engine upgrades. If you want a decent engine upgrade, I mean, man, like, it's going to cost you whatever S is. You get barely any of these. I think you get like 3 every sort of 10 races or so. Or every time you level up, you get a couple. So this is extremely, extremely expensive. 10S, I can't remember what they're called. They're not skill points, they're like level points. I think every time you level up you get 2, and every time you beat a boss battle you also get like 2 or 3. So this is going to take a long time just to get an intake manifold. So yeah, I've built a couple of cars now, and to be fair, so I bought that E36, that purple one you saw at the start, and I think that probably cost about 300,000. And it's not the best drift car, to be honest. It's the only proper drift car that I have, and it takes, like I say, 300,000 ish. It's 400 horsepower, which is a little bit low on power. It's got pretty much all of the good upgrades, but I need more power. It's definitely more beneficial to buy a car that has got better power to begin with, so you don't have to spend about 100k just on the engine. Obviously the price of the car is gonna go up if you go into a C5 or a C6 class. So anyway, enough ranting. Let's do some actual drifting. So you're gonna see here me crash. Oh, the game's really laggy as well when you go into new zones. So bear with me on that. So what I mean by the AI is taking over your car is you can easily see here on the screen where my left analog stick is. It's not where my wheels are, and I'm using it. So here, when I transition, I'm using the analog stick to change the direction of the car, which is not what happens in real life. What happens in real life is you change it by increasing or decreasing acceleration or throttle, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, the whole drift is based around steering input, which if you know how to drift, just it is not right. It's not right. It's going to catch you out. If I loaded up Forza now, if I loaded up Forza Horizon and tried drift on that, I'd be awful because I'd be doing exactly opposite of what I need to do. Or CarX. If I go onto CarX drift, then yeah, it's just going to be the opposite, and I'm going to be rubbish. So it's not all doom and gloom. There are good things about CarX Street, and the first one is actually very, very surprising. It's this camera. It's this POV camera. Now, I play a lot of Forza. I play a lot of Forza Motorsport, and if I went in this camera mode in Forza Motorsport, it'd make me very sick. I don't know why, but on the setup I have, I've got a 24-inch monitor, and it makes me very, very ill very fast. I'll get like motion sickness if I'm in this game mode. But this game, for some reason, I guess it's how the car moves. You're sort of looking where the car's going. You're not looking where the car is facing, if that makes sense. So here, I'm looking to the right. I'm looking round the corner. I'm looking to the left. I'm looking round the corner. I'm not looking towards the bonnet of the car. Now, I think this is what is curing my motion sickness. So even though I guess it's related to drifting, this is something they've definitely got right. And in Forza, like I say, I get very sick playing like this. So yeah, very, very pleased with that. I mean, I can't drift in this angle because I keep spinning. That's on me. That's obviously on my game. So yeah, those are a couple of cons, and to be fair, it's probably the only good thing about this drifting in this game is the camera angle, even though I can't do it, even though I can't drift in that camera angle. So it's a little bit of a whine on my end, but I just wanted to let you know what the drifting's like in this game. It's not a proper video like how to build a drift car or anything like that. I will make a video about that in the future. I'm going to persevere with this game, and I am going to play a little bit more. I might live stream it if you've got any comment, or if you've got any questions you want me to answer live, then tune into one of my live streams if I do live stream this. So yeah, just a quick little video about the drifting in this game. If you're looking forward to the drifting in this game, I was, and now I'm disappointed. You can see here what I mean by the steering. I'm steering the complete opposite way. It's so backwards, man. I can't say any more than that. So I'm going to leave the video here. It's backwards. It's not right. Maybe it is if you've got a sim rig. If you've got a steering wheel, then maybe it's better. I can't really tell. But yeah, steering's weird, and the cars are way too expensive, especially for a low level. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Yeah, I will see you in the next video, I guess. See ya.